naturally is it's a very solid hero to first phase. It's even if you pressure him in lane, he can still go jungle, get his items. The IO can like easily go mid and get XP if needed. Like it's just a solid pick that doesn't show much.
It's early though, and it does open it up to a bit of countering, but they've got 2 bans straight away as well.
Sure, it's more. If Alliance is picking these counters, Secret already knows, like they've already got the list of what are the top 4 we hate playing against. And now Secret can already start prepping what are picks that will shift them to go more towards a certain counter. And now Secret already can predict what's happening. For example, the Vipers or the Embers. And this is here, they ban out, obviously Batrider is very good against TA. It's also very good opening into the second phase because you don't know if it's going to be the 4, the 5, the off lane. And Alliance do like having this very open second phase pick. For example, Quops and Batriders, they're like the 2 I'd probably mention.
The TA is pretty good at killing A at later stages of the game as well. And with the IO pairing, not that they're going to always do IO TA, they can move her on the map in multiple ways now.
Yes,
once they get the Eggs talent.
The level 20 Tether, and then he just TPs.
God, you're never spending money on her in that way otherwise, but hypothetically she could use it.
I do think Alliance will probably pick Quap coming into the second phase. And then they'll either play it on Boxer or they'll put it onto the mid, but they'll decide later on in the draft. Most likely on last pick. And I wouldn't be surprised as well. Like, Darkseer still is in the pool. I don't know if Secret value. It's a draft that makes it very easy to play into, but again, is it necessary for Secret when they have a game plan?
Are you surprised about the Lion ban in the second phase? Seems a little random to me.
It's a big secret hero, isn't it?
That's true, I guess. But Yepster normally plays the IO, right?
Usually.
Yeah, Puppy can. Yeah, Puppy can play the Lion.
And Zai can play it as well if you really want to move it all out there.
It's one of those supports, like, for example, an old classic was Bane IO, where the Bane will walk in, he'd sleep someone, grip the Nerva, and then you'd get the relocate on. Lion has the same kind of double stun, right? So he can just walk up into high ground, insta-hex someone, then you got the really... He's just a hero that, sure, he dies like 20 times in a game or whatever, but he still will walk in and that initial someone grip the Nerva, and then you get the classic was Bane Puppy, and then the Bane will walk in, sleep someone, grip the Nerva, and then you get the relocate on. Lion has the same kind of double stun, right? So he can just walk up into high ground. The Ogre kind of does the same thing again for Secret, where you just have this... He's just a hero that runs in, sure, he dies like 20 times in a game or whatever, but he still will walk in and that initial someone grip the Nerva, so... I'm sure they probably won't go into that one.
When he gets multicast every cast. Yeah. But it's still a pretty good chance, right? It's like 75% right now, so...
Sometimes it's like, you can't predict enough bans. So short for this Pango ban, for example.
Yeah, Pango is perfectly fine now. Yeah.
But I still think Alliance might just go for the Quap here to keep their draft open for one more pick. And it doesn't do too bad.
Team Secret's turn to pick.
Oh, I'm wrong.
Evil creep. Willow.
No, just Dark Willow. No need for the evils. Perfectly nice hero.
Quap is definitely evil, #1.
That's true.
And her name's Dark.
Yeah, it's just about the fact that it's, you know.
You think keeping that little creature and her little lantern is like a partnership?
Yeah.
She's evil.
It's like going to the fair and getting the goldfish in the bags. Basically what she's got.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys have got a dim view of heroes. These people are nice.
You know what Alliance doesn't have a dim view on?
These are not just killing machines for you to utilize at your whim. These heroes have feelings.
They don't. They literally walk to a lane, die, and go back again. Non-stop for about an hour long.
That's true.
And then after that, they go to sit in the waiting room and they go again.
That depends on how good you are.
Well, we're not, so we're going to die a lot sometimes. But again, with these 3 picks right now from Alliance, it's going to be a very... it could easily become a very good trial.
Now there's a secret hero.
That's the Puppy hero, most likely.
Okay.
It's a Puppy hero.
I kind of like that against Sven A, actually. Like being able... Because they're very predictable disables. Same with like Bramble Maze and Dark Willow. You see them coming, kind of. So at least you can use Bulldoze at the right time.
Spirit Breaker did get some buffs in the last patch. Lower cooldown, lower mana cost on the charge, more damage, higher status resist at 4 with like 70% now on Bulldoze. But Willow against Spirit Breaker is very Willow
We're
favored.
going to die a
That's
lot.
true. They're charging through the
You're
ramp.
charging through the bramble,
But
but you
again,
can't
with these
do.
three
So like
things
if you
now
see
from
it coming,
Alliance,
you can
it's
just
gonna
put the
be a
brambles
very,
down and take the
could
fight
easily
outside.
be
Instantly
Okay,
gets rid of the
there's a
charge.
secret hero.
The Curse Crown's also very annoying.
the puppy
And
hero.
in general,
That's a puppy
Willow's a
hero.
very
I kind of
elusive
like
hero.
that
So
against
if they
an
are
AA,
playing a
actually,
tri-lane
because they're
with
very
the
predictable
Sven AA
disables.
Willow,
And same
I
with
think
like
the Baron
Bramble
might
Maze and
find
Dark
it
Willow.
difficult
You see
early
them
on to
coming,
actually try and
kind of,
connect on
so
those
at
like
least
level
you
2,
can
level 3
use
charges
bulldoze
where
at
he
the
doesn't
right
have a
time.
little bit more like space around the map, and it's just condensed in one lane. Last patch, lower
could just see
cooldown,
them
lower mana cost
looking
on
at
the
Spirit Breaker
charge,
as
more
like the 5
damage,
hero that's going to
high
be able to
status
go into
resist
some
at
dual
4
lane,
with like 70%
and
now.
he's going to be
on
able
cooldown.
to take a lot of heat off whatever carry is paired with.
Sure.
Just because I don't think he's necessarily going to get bulldoze early, but like he's got really high base HP. His base armor's okay. You know, against like an A +1, he's going to do a lot better than a lot of other heroes. I assume that's going to be their mid hero.
Yeah.
Very good setup for A as well. Go Yules into Light Strike Array. There we go. And then followed up with an A Ice Blast is going to be an easy way to start kills.
I just think other than the Spirit Breaker right now, they don't really have any real team fight, any real connection, and I feel Alliance already has answers to what the Spirit Breaker provides, especially when the Lina naturally goes for Aether Lens, has the cast range talent. You're not going to suddenly get surprised from a Pods 5 Spirit Breaker. He might have 2 braces, a stick. He's not going to have these Shadow Blades or these quirkier items. So
Wait till he gets Bulldoze and Tether movement speed.
Ooh,
It's going to be
yeah.
like, soup.
Oh, it's so good, actually.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. You're not even going to see him coming. It's like it's going to be like anime. You're like,
Yeah, it's going to be so good.
like, wait, our Sven's dead. What happened?
The best thing is if the IO can, because he moves the same speed, if he can keep walking within the river, for example, he can follow the river chaser. So if he times it and he can run around a little bit, obviously high ground, low ground, it will cancel, but if he does it, he can get across a little bit of the map.
Okay. So that's our dual lane, Spirit Breaker, Darkseer, which is actually offensively very strong. So now the last pick is what is the carry that's going to pair with the IO? They apparently don't care. They don't want it to get countered, I guess. They do not get the last pick, so we'll see it shortly.
My only thought right now is the Secret could potentially just pick an Arc Warden, and then it allows Alliance has the good team fight. Their high ground's a little bit weak. Obviously, if Sven doesn't have God Strength up and they take these fights outside, Secret can just play really aggressive. Then the Arc Warden can just kind of enable the late game, and also has a very good presence in mid game, especially when these 3 heroes right now, Lina, Willow, and AA, all would blow up to any partially farmed Arc Warden.
I'm really unsure what hero it's going to be. Staying away from somebody that has a lot of heals is maybe recommended. You definitely want a BKB carrier.
5 seconds remaining.
You could do something kind of like, but you kind of want an Ags hero preferably. I was thinking like Lifestealer maybe.
They could also maybe go for some like Ursa type hero and just go full aggressive, but
Like Ursa or PA or something maybe.
because then the TA at least will go Deso, and then you have the high ground ability. You then have the aggression where the IO can pair with the Ursa. You got the Surge to save you. I think there's 2 options. You either you all in on the fight and your TA is kind of your mid game kind of secure, or you then pick a hero to secure late game like the Arc Warden. It just the conventional heroes right now that I think Nisha plays, they don't look too good. Like the Morphling doesn't look good. Troll doesn't look. Troll actually could be okay.
Terrorblade.
I just think with the Lina and the fact that you got your like Baron in your lane, it's not that good. Sure. Okay.
Well then,
What is your Ags again?
Spectre for the final pick for Team Secret.
She makes she can do the single target haunt,
Yes.
which is not bad at all. That's global.
I like the fact that Secret's picked a hero that allows them to not be. They've got the aggression and they can still secure this, but I think Alliance has already shown that they're going to be in this aggro tri lane. I don't know how strong the IO plus Spectre lane will be against this tri lane. I think there will be a lot of deaths on the Secret side, and I think if Alliance can actually move out the laning phase and then pick a hero right now that can maybe hit some buildings, then I think they're in a really good spot. Or instead of hit buildings, just make it impossible for them to fight them.
Well,
Fight better.
that's going
Yeah.
against their religion as well, by the way.
Their religion of.
They used to be called No Tide Hunter.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Against their religion. Loader's going to have a fit backstage. Anyway,
Hope they
jokes
don't
aside,
lose.
Tide Hunter wraps up the draft for Alliance. Secret with a Spectre pick at the end. Which one do you favour?
I mean, Alliance has really good team fight compared to Secrets.
Doesn't it?
But Hunt's not bad either. Spectre is definitely going to be able to like punish and dive on AA often. If he doesn't get initiated on, it's going to be for the best. And they have a tool to disrupt, which is the Spear Breaker. So I think Puppey is the sacrificial lamb while they try to kill the backline, and then they can win fights.
The crucial component in this game right now is if the TA has a good game and can get the early blink and deso, then Alliance should be scared. 3 of their heroes will just blow up to this TA. So I think focusing on the mid lane, shutting down mid one, and then collapsing around the rest of the map is the game plan, I think.
Okay, time to head over to our commentary team then as we get ready for game number 1 in series number 2 to decide all the marbles in Group B.
Classic was Bane IO, where the Bane will walk.
Is definitely going to be able to like punish and dive on AA often. If he doesn't get initiated on, it's going to be for the best. And they have a tool to disrupt, which is the Spear Breaker. So I think Puppey is the sacrificial lamb while
We
they
start
try
off
to
seeing
kill the
only
backline, and then they can
First, we had that terrible 0-4 day 1. Then we saw the good of Alliance, where they managed to very convincingly take down LGD. Unfortunately, that day 2 also ended up with them going 0-2 against Evil Geniuses. So need to be able to prove that they can take down the Giants in Team Secret. A team that has been dominating the DPC season, even if they haven't quite dominated their group at this event.
I just saw Nisha wear a Los Angeles, California jacket. Now I have to be biased towards. I'm from LA. Rough. Well, it looks like I know who I've chosen.
All in on Nisha, huh?
All in on Nisha. Don't care about you other fools. No, I mean, personally, Alliance is like a... I said it in the pregame thing, and I said it yesterday. They're just like... They're this really frustrating team.
Yeah.
Because you want to support them more, and you want to go all in.
Yeah. But you know you can't.
You know you just
can't.
can't.
You can't go all in on.
You want to tell yourself like, oh man, Alliance is bad. Their series against LGD, if they played like that all the time, they'd be like nigh undefeated at this tournament.
Unless you're like a masochist, like when it comes to fans and like cheering for a team, you want to be able to support a team that at least makes the playoffs, you know? And you just can't do that consistently.
What is it in
Alliance.
hockey, like a Leafs fan or something? I don't know.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Maple Leafs?
Trent's a Leafs.
Yeah, what's
fan.
that? What's a? I don't know what the an Arsenal fan. I don't know what the. I assume you guys don't follow basketball, so you won't know. But if you follow basketball, I'd imagine it's like akin to being a Knicks fan. Like every year, you know, you've got Porzingis. Nope. There's just something about. I'm not sure, but I do always have like I have hope in teams like this. These are my personal favorite teams. You know, the scrappy teams that stick together.
Yeah.
That don't really change roster. You know, like
It's a story that you can really get behind.
Yeah, they got unlucky because of the 2 surgeries. I know a lot of people said quote unquote surgery, but that's actually what happened. If a team, by the way, guys, let me just let you in on the secret. If they, oftentimes, you know, it's just like if they're being as specific as saying he's getting surgery. There's no. If they wanted to be
just come up
shady,
with that one.
Yeah, they would just say.
If he said he retired.
Yeah.
Or is taking a break for personal reasons, then sure, you can drum up some conspiracies. But if he's getting medical surgery,
they're like,
that's something different.
If he actually has surgery, then yes, you can't avoid that. And I know McKay has had hand problems, and he had to take like a 3-month break from playing Dota to just get that resolved. And then it's like it's almost like a reset period. Yeah. It's like, oh, we've made all this progress. Reset. And it's very cool of Madara. I think this was also their way of helping him out. So they scheduled Mickey or Koikva's surgery so that Madara, who helped them qualify for all these things, would have the opportunity to play here. Which is, I think, it's a very cool gesture by the organization.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you know, we as casters watching like the true tier 1 teams. Who wins? Most of them are goddamn millionaires anyway. Like, what do I care if they win an extra 100,000? But like a relatively unaccomplished team like Alliance, it feels like a team you can't get behind.
Of course,
because
I want like the underdog team to, because inherently they were talking about it on the panel while we're having this pause. I inherently want underdog teams to do well. It is better for the ecosystem of the scene for these up-and-comers to do well. So that's why I get so personally offended when somebody says, like, you're an EG bias, liquid bias. Fool, I don't want those guys to win. I don't care if they're all legit millionaires. They all own homes. They don't need.
RTC's good for the rest of his life. You don't
guys,
need that boy to win anymore.
Me telling on a broadcast that he's doing well is not going to change his financial futures. Like, let me just get that out of the way. But you know,
and there's all this discussion about like how the tier 2 and tier 3 scene isn't really represented that well, especially financially. So. Like, and when you see, like, just look at the DPC points and how top heavy that is, well, the money pretty much follows the DPC points, so...
Yes. And so for a team like Alliance to do well, yeah, that'd be a cool story. Because at the end of the day, I can't help but be a fan of Dota. That is it's my job to, like, not be biased, sure, because I'm the English broadcaster, but, like, I want the underdogs to do well.
Yeah.
You want, because, you know, you get invested in these teams that you see all the time that just don't quite do well enough. What was it? I felt especially attached to that one team, Kingwin.
Oh, with back when they had Nisha, and
yeah, and it was just like it felt like they would do okay, and then it was just like.
I think at Venom, that's why like everybody was down to back at Venom. Nobody was like at Venom hater here.
Well, let me just say, there's a guy. I remember at the Boston Major, I was working as the coach of DC at the time, but so I would always watch from the back.
Yep.
So then sometimes I'd look towards the stage when they'd get on, and I'd always see this dude with a VP flag. And then as soon as if I remember correctly, they lost or whatever, he just switched to an Ad Venom flag. You don't deserve that. You are either...
you got to stay a true fan, is that what you're saying? What if you've got a backup team? What if you're a Knicks fan? Surely you got to have a backup team.
I guess this is like an arbitrary, silly thing, because like, in my opinion, a fandom is you support one team. You know those guys that are just like obnoxious to like the point where like you almost want to root against them? I don't actually hate those guys, because at the end of the day, they're gonna ride or die with their team as long as they stick. So if you know, it's like if you're a Warriors fan from the beginning and now they're great, you can be as obnoxious.
Oh,
as they
shout
want.
out to Lyrical, Gabe.
Yeah,
Gabe was a long time fan, right?
Yeah. So like, if your team is now good, gloat all you want, be obnoxious, call everyone else trash. Like if you're a Secret fan right now, do it. Call everyone else like, you know, the
like
top
you were
of
there in the
DPC.
dark days of multiple TIs.
Yeah.
You were there where RTZ made the in and out.
Yeah, it was always like they go into the end of the year and just like, oh, what time is it on the calendar? I saw somebody who was like, it's May. It's that time again for Secret to disappoint me. Yeah. I saw those like self-referential memes and stuff like that. Great. But like, in my opinion, if you're a true fan of something, you know, just like, I think it's cool anyways, and I wish Dota was more like it. I guess you can't be because the players switch around, but they're doing that less.
Goddamn players.
They're starting to do that
change
less.
all the time. Yeah.
They're starting to do that less. So it's easy. Now it's time. Pick a team. All in for it. What is your team?
What is my team?
Yeah,
out of the tier 2 scene? Oh, Alliance.
Just in general.
Alliance is definitely tempting. I mean, we've got actually 3 like teams that I think from different regions you can all really support in this group, right? You've got Keen, Alliance, and Gambit, who are all definitely in that tier 2 category and all show potential. They've all got their own interesting story. Keen's, you know, got this relatively young squad that can do a lot. You've got Alliance here with this story of them just kind of like sticking together, even through Han days, like Insania, like having this teammate in Mickey for so long. You know, you brought up the Madara stand-in thing. You've got Gambit with FNG coming back in. Like, there's a lot of good storylines for all 3 of these underdog teams, and all 3 of them are on the border right now.
Yeah, I do
eliminated.
I do like Gambit a lot. I think
they're a fun team to watch, right?
Gambit might be my team now. Might have swayed me right there, but regardless, we have a Titan in Dota 2. In Team Secret, and on the other hand, we have this up-and-coming team that absolutely needs these wins. They will not move on without these wins, and it is very likely, as I've seen this smoke, I feel like 14 times in a row, get countered in the same way.
So many times.
We have the underdogs that absolutely need to 2-0 versus a team that I feel like wants to sort of right the ship a little bit.
Yeah, and it's underdogs you can actually have hope in, not just the sort of like, well, they're gonna get too old, but I'm still going for them anyway. They showed they can take down top tier teams. They showed they can play extremely good Dota in their series against LGD.
They've only gotten wins against teams.
Okay, team against a team.
Against a team. Shout out to our in-game team as well, JJ and Nox, for providing the stats and the camera work. Used to all our fans, Twitch and all that jazz. You know, you meme it up, but keep it so that I'm not homeless for another day longer. As bottom lane, we have one of my favorite lanes. I think Spearbreaker Darkseer is like a classic. You know, like the supercharged cow.
Yeah.
Big fan of that.
I mean, especially since they just made that duo even stronger with the Surge Charge combo.
They're going to block the camp as it comes in, or the creeps, and easy farm. And
hey, everybody, like, look, when somebody picks Darkseer and you pick Spearbreaker, do this, please, every single time. I can't tell you the number of times I picked Darkseer because somebody had Spearbreaker and then they just don't do this with me. Cut the creep wave.
Personally
do it.
Offended as
it's good.
What is Boxy?
Boxy's just a little bit scared of getting dove or something. Now he's going to pop his head out.
I don't think he should have been, considering it's 2 melees and he has Anchor Smash, but opts to not actually farm that first wave out, but does get his level 2, and that should prompt him to get the level of Kraken Shell. And this is something I see quite often now from Alliance, is the aggro tri-lane. One who is popping a pretty good amount of damage. And let me say this, Lina matchup versus TA, not the best, but not the worst.
Okay.
Because of her boosted attack speed, of course, she can cut through refraction charges quite quickly. But it does mean that her new Caress is not as good. Like being able to Dragon Slave +1, you know, the 2-for-1 that we always talk about isn't really possible. As Insania likely to die here.
Very fire. That's going to give him a little bit extra leeway. Yapster's really gunning for it, but not going to be able to do it. He does cancel the healing salve of Insania, but gives up the first blood. Taiga, who made the rotation. Shout out to him, by the way. He looks excellent in that LGD series, both on the Earth Spirit as well as the hero he's playing right now, Dark Willow. He was always on point with the Brambles and continues to be in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, by the way, the one game that we did cast of Secrets, it was the one where Nisha played Morph.
The BKB mess up?
Yeah, and that was actually like one of the few times that I think I've ever seen Nisha really make like any game-losing errors for Team Secret.
Oh, there was definitely another game yesterday where we actually referenced the BKB Morphling to talk about it.
I see. It was the game that you guys casted when they played against Keen?
It was me and T-Governor casting.
Yeah, it was the Keen one? That's weird. Maybe Nisha just... you have to give him the benefit of the doubt because of what he's done this season.
Yeah.
But...
They had the troll game.
I see. As the courier gets sniped and Taiga already off to...
Oh, Jesus.
He is off to the races right now as he's gotten first blood for his team.
Oh no, that's the soul ring for the Darkseer.
Is it?
You just killed his lane.
Oh,
you don't
no.
typically you do not have enough regen to just keep going with a courier snipe like that. He's got half his mana pool right now. He just ate a mango actually.
He's done the swerve now.
Nisha is going to be caught here. The Brambles actually missing there. That's going to cost them.
That would have been the kill.
They needed that little bit of extra damage.
I'm not actually sure if they would have gotten the kill, as
the healing self regen was going to be a lot from Yapster, but
and Mickey actually going to go down here to this gank, and this is such a strong gank. The Ion Shell surged up puppy running at breakneck speeds. Cap.
Yeah, even better when you cut the creep wave because the angle that you come in more behind the mid laner, pushing him into the opposing mid laner. It's just a better setup. It's also harder to see. Like there's not a good defensive ward in the first laning phase that's going to see that angle.
The charge up time too for Lina stun makes it very obnoxious.
Yeah.
To be able to turn rate, cast a stun with the cast animation, especially surged up. By the time you get there, you've already hit him, and it usually just leads to an easy kill like that.
And it's something that the aggro tri-lane's going to have to be careful of too. The Ion Shell and then TP over to the other side of the map.
Yeah, as an in-game counter, I think Yule's or Lina is perfectly fine because she can go for Yules and stuff like that and just instantly stop the SP charge. See, like even right there, Mickey barely got it off, but it's because the angle that he came in. As the Brambles just completely whiffed there. Mickey's still looking for it.
Gonna land though, and mid one is dead.
He got soloed.
Spirit Breaker comes in, tries to gank, and the gank turns around very sharply.
I guess
against
Taiga's
Team Secret.
brambles allowed that, but
Kind of forced him to run to the right rather
Yeah.
than straight back.
in a way, but still.
The Spectre does seem to be doing quite well, though, for a dual lane against an aggro tri-lane.
It's not really an aggro tri-lane though, is the thing, right? It's like pseudo, or as Grand would say, pseudo.
Sueda.
Taiga is sometimes up here, sometimes he's not as...
First Crown trying to see if he can make sure they get this 5-minute bounty rune, and they do manage to grab it. And thanks to the Cold Feet and Brambles follow-up, they're actually going to do a lot of damage to Nisha as they escape.
Going to get 3 of the 4 bounty runes. It's really cool, by the way, to see who decides to prioritize bounty runes and who doesn't.
Yep.
Let me tell you, Keen Gaming, I've never seen a team give less shits about bounty runes. Like, they just... It's not even a thing for them.
It was like Alliance in that game 1 with Roshan. It was just so weird that everyone else is doing this thing and they would not. Mid-game is going to be charged on the Cursed Crown. It's not going to go off fast enough. Mid-1 will be able to finish up mid-game, but now is he going to be able to get out? The Cold Feet's going to root him to the spot here. Boxy actually TPing in from that bottom lane. Well, that's unfortunate because there is a big creep wave pushing into his tower. That's a lot of experience, golds, and even tower damage. That's
Just too many TPs taking a little bit too long as Sania drops the Cold Feet for half a second. We should talk about the rise of Sven, by the way, as a hero. I think that this hero, it's just like an all-around Mario-esque character. You know, like whenever you play any video game that has Mario in it, he's just good. He's not amazing at anything. He's just good at everything. He's like pretty good at everything. He's very tanky. He scales pretty good. He has catch as a core.
Now with Warcry, he gives you more team fight for like your allies.
Yeah. So they're gonna make the move onto top lane. Taiga's gonna TP in. Nisha's frozen
great
up.
Charge.
I mean, you're not killing Nisha. That is a Yapsor with 7 magic stick charges and a bottle charge left over. It is so unlikely that you kill this spec.
So they've got to somehow get to Yapsor, but
I always love Wisp games too, because I think that the objective is so, like, very clear.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's, you either kill the Wisp or you don't. You kill the Wisp, you can win the team fight. If you don't kill the Wisp, as Ravage looks like it was used at bottom lane under the tower, but Zai gonna just sneak out of there. He's so farmed. He has way too much HP regen, 15 a second nearly.
Yeah, we looked over at him and Zai looked super healthy, but I imagine that was just the regen and even the bottle that he had. There is a rather large stack that was actually Alliance stacking for this Sven. I think they did this last time against LGD as well.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up this Sven, though. That was something that I started off the show talking on the panel about. Hero has a 90% win rate, and it's not just the winning teams that were winning with it. Alliance also. The only wins they've gotten were with the moderate Sven
Nisha
against
actually got
LGD.
a moderate amount of those.
That's going to be a 2-man stun, follow up with the Brambles, but again, there's just too much sustain out from Yapsor.
He's just gonna bottle Nisha, who has his own stick too. That's the deadly part, is that you essentially get 2 to work with, meaning that you get 2 different bursts. It's gonna heal him like insta 1k. It's very hard to cut through that.
Middle tower is under attack.
I mean, I like the hero just because I don't think it has any real big glaring holes. It scales well, it's a pretty good roche hitter, it hits buildings nicely, it tanks for you. It's like a frontliner carry, which I think always feels good to have. You never feel bad when you're, especially when you're support, you have this like big beefy guy just kind of run in, blink in, take up so much of the attention as mid lane.
Try to go for him, mid one. Not going to commit here. They do have the Cursed Crown on Puppey, and Puppey is going to hit one in trouble. Charge up in 2 seconds time, but I'm pretty sure with the Brambles and the Laguna Blade, that'll be enough damage. 4-2 now to the slight favor of Alliance. Less than 1,000 net worth lead for them.
Still, that's only the 5 position for Alliance, and or on the side of Secret.
Not that big of a deal if Puppey dies. Any of these TP forcing rotations.
Still a very minimal net worth lead from Alliance's. Boxy continues to do very well in this bottom lane. If you check, he's got 57 last hits, 13 denies. And what that means is that Zai, yeah, he's farming all these like mini camps and stuff like that, but all the CS in lane belongs to this Tidehunter. As we see right here, the difference in lane creeps.
And Tide's a perfect kind of hero to get the 1v1 against Darkseer, right? He can tank creeps, he's going to be the healthy the entire time, and he's also an offlaner that needs a lot of farm. And so Darkseer's locked into the position, and Tide's okay being locked in there too.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why, if you look at Tide's toolkit, you would glance over and think to yourself, why isn't this hero of all heroes been made into a 4 yet? Considering like everyone's a 4.
Yeah.
He's got like a big teamfight ulti, he's got Gush as a slow and stuff like that. Very like pretty low cooldown, and the mana cost for damage is fantastic. But it's just like the way that the hero works is you do need farm. They're gonna make a move onto this Willow.
The Ion Shell is doing a lot of damage to him, but the Brambles will help separate him and Puppey. Puppey now is going to need a charge to get out of here. And Alliance knows that without a stun. Oh, and let's see LC.
Wow.
Beautiful setup
Nice
there
catch.
from Mickey. And he's got the Laguna Blade. Not sure if he really needs to use it. He'll hold on to that big ultimate for now.
Stopped him in traffic right there. But what were we talking about?
Well, right now we're talking about 50 most picked heroes of the previous patch. Darkseer had the 6th highest win rate. Lina had the worst.
Ooh. Oh, we were talking about Tide as why he needs item. It's because you don't ever want to be locked into just being a Ravage bot.
Yeah.
That makes your hero feel incredibly worthless.
You want to feel multiple anchor smashes. You want to be tanky enough that your Ravage Shell has an impact. But here, he is not tanky enough against the double Ion Shell with Puppey. I think that might have even been triple Ion Shell for a small window there. Taiga is going to be slowed down here as he tried to TP rotate over the help out the Tide Hunter, but he is just surrounded by little purple particles. And that'll be a tier 1 tower. Finally, the Tide Hunter was slowing this down. Darkseer really wants to take that tower and start pushing deeper and deeper into the jungle. And
I mean, DS had DD plus the double Ion Shell.
Yeah.
Tide Hunter was done. He was so toast. He's going in 2 different directions right now as he is going for the hood, which is, you know, his way to deal with, I'd say, the majority of the early game damage that Secret can put out until the TA comes online.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Ice Blast. Heading into the mid lane. They're trying to jump immediately. Boxy's trying to go for the Gush, but there was already a TA trap set in place.
And they didn't have Ravage, so it was sort of unlikely that they were going to get all the damage out there to be able to kill him in time.
I felt like you were just kind of throwing spells to throw spells.
Yeah, that feels like one of those positions. If anything, I feel like they could have made a move onto Nisha at top.
Yeah, Nisha was seeing the Ice Blast actually came out of the jungle and back into lane for a moment there. Lina in some big trouble here. They can actually stay on top of her with the Spectre, but now Box is going to join him. He doesn't have that Ravage, though. Using it earlier may have just cost his Lina his life. They aren't going to be able to get the Terrorize. That actually roots in the Wiz. He wasn't able to get out of that cold feed area. Now the Bedlam will help finish off that squishier here on the Darkseer, but it's Ancient Apparition who's going to go down. Now they're going to focus on the Wiz in the back line as the Absolute does end up falling. Puppey using his ultimate to try and get in position, but running into Brambles there. 3 dead on the side of Secrets. Not quite the dive that they'd really hoped for.
I think that's fine for them. Personally, Nisha just immediately went back top, and mid 1 took the mid tower. And he's about to finish the Deso at 13 minutes.
Oh, yeah, he did take that mid
Yeah,
tower.
and he's going to steal this Ancient stack too, potentially. He's running. This would be pretty big. This is meant to be Sven's, and it looks like he's going to clean this up no problem. He's even going to lay down the trap over there just to see if anyone comes. Not sure if any pings are coming out yet, but yeah, he'll leave the Ancient Black Dragon, but doesn't really care as he got the majority of the gold. And that's pretty significant sequence of events because they already grabbed the tower. Alliance, aside from getting the kills, don't get anything while losing their mid tower, which I think is pretty massive for the TA versus Lina matchup.
Especially given how much this is going to boost the TA forward. I mean, if you look at this Darkseer Spectre TA, you don't have a super active hero until the TA comes online.
Yeah.
And with this early of an Adesso, like mid 1's going to have a great time at 20-25 minutes.
It's part of those things where if you want to look at, I think it's a very easy way as a fan to just look at it and say like, oh, well, if you're a casual observer, you'll say, well, they traded 3 for 2. Isn't that a good thing? Like, but it's not because Alliance didn't, yes, they got like 1 more kill, but the overall gold lead will go to the favor of Secret.
Yeah.
And they'll just get more space on the map.
Smoking up to the top lane. This would be a very big kill if they can find it with the Spectre. Don't actually hit him with the LSA. They're going to spot him with this Ice Blast, though. Will manage to get him. They threw every single ultimate that they had to be able to kill him. But they do bring down the big carry of Team Secret, and now looking to potentially take that tower. We'll see whether or not Secret wants to defend or if they're just going to occupy this Radiant jungle.
I really like how they use AA, by the way. They use it as like their anti-carry hero on the side of Alliance, and I think that's really smart. Looks like we're gonna see a trade. Bottom lane, you want your Tidehunter to be there, your big beefy guy to frontline this, but most likely it's looking like looks like he's gonna be fine at defending this. And in fact, they find Nisha again, but getting deep into his jungle right now. It's gonna make the defense happen at bottom. They have such a global presence with their team.
Foxy does have the Ravage, threatening to blow it out with the Ice Blast over the top. Maybe they can burst down one of these heroes, but there's still a refraction up on mid one. They've already burned through it though, and Mickey tries to go for it, but there is going to be that big surge. Gets him out of the way of that AoE stun, away from the Brambles as well. They're going to get Zai here. Looks like that is going to help things out. It would have kind of sucked if they'd blown Ravage and only killed the 5 position in Puppy, but at least they get the 3 of Team Secret as well.
I'm very surprised that they went for that under the tower. The game was fine for them. There's no reason to have to do that. And Boxy is, without a doubt, the worst target to go for there.
Oh, for sure. Curse Crown does buy him enough time. Good Bramble placement there.
The AI Ice Blast comes in just to secure his retreat, but yeah, just going for Boxy. His Kraken is going to proc, and he's going to get that Ravage off under the tier 2 tower.
Yeah.
Maybe if they had like one more hero down there with them, but going for that just seemed a little bit ambitious. Instead, they're going to make the move, the Haunt.
Look, go for the lead in the back line, see if they can control the Terrorize, though. He's going to be able to cover his tracks. Mickey can now turn around, especially with the Brambles. Catching out that Spectre, they locked him down, he's dead. They do have Gap Shores, mid one can still lay out a lot of damage, especially he's going to a line vacuum, only pulling it back in Madara. But now Mickey, as he was saved by the Terrorize, can go back into this team fight and go for mid one. He's already taken so much damage, but he's surged up, running away with the extra bit of sustain from Yapstor. That will help keep mid one alive. They kill the Dark Willow, and now looking to get out, but Puppy at full health here still has his ultimate. Thought about trying to cut off Alliance before they got to that high ground triangle area.
Great move by Alliance. They instantly align themselves away from the wall. They take the fight to the left. Nisha thinks that there's enough chaos on the ground happening that he can just walk in. But a few things happened there. Puppy got stopped at the end when he was trying to charge by the Brambles. Mid one was in no fighting shape. He went as far as he could with that haste, and then by the time he tried to step back forward, it was a little bit too late. They will eventually grab this tier 2 tower.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And that was also a product of the Tidehunter not having the Ravage. Secret really wanted to take that fight while it was on CD.
I feel like we've seen a couple fights now where Nisha has died, but Team Secret's gotten something out of it. But he's getting a little low in the net worth chart, sitting at 6,800 right next to the Tidehunter. Are you concerned at all by that?
Yes, because I think that the damage that Alliance puts out largely ignores the Radiance. You're not relying on these like right-clicking cores, and the right-clicking core that is going to matter to Sven will have BKB, so he doesn't have that Radiance miss-effect chance applied to him.
So you say the Spectre needs to be... Oh, the Ravage was the Ice Blast as well. They're going to try and focus on mid one as best as possible. Boxy even daring it. One more hit from the mid one, and he does survive through that one hit. They do have the Terrorize and the 2 in the back line, but again, the Surge, this extra movement speed makes it so this fear factor, there is no. They just get a full retreat out. Nobody gets picked off. They forced out a Ravage. Good fight for Team Secret, seemingly.
Yes. And of course, I think that Nisha, will, when he gets like 6 slotted, will just... He'll be able to win the game because he can get to the back line so easily. But his timing needs to be better than this, because it's a little bit scary. Like I said, the Radiance doesn't really affect the Sven. The Tidehunter, like the majority of his damage, doesn't care either. He's got Pipe coming on himself. And then you've got Mickey, who, you know, he's going to go for the Magic Burst build too. And he's got enough range that he can work off of that.
And Lina may be squishy, but she's going to be protected by the Warcry, by the Pipe. So you're kind of saying, like, his timing slowed down enough, and he's going to hit this Radiance, but that Radiance isn't going to make the big splash they usually expect. You need more items out of the Spectre before she's really impactful.
Yes. And so that's where like the matched timing comes in.
Okay.
I still think that I'm not sure. Because if I were Secret, I'd want like on their lineup like one more way to initiate.
Yeah.
I feel like that's sort of what they're missing, like an easy, non like hard commit. Just being able to like throw out a stun. Because right now their stun is, you know, Puppy just like throwing himself like a frying pan, just kind of like chucking himself. That's always like the funny part about Spear Pricker is like his body is the stun, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know why that always makes me laugh when I think about it. He just sort of like body slams you. You know, he doesn't get to just like cast a lantern and everyone's stunned up.
Similar like Axe. His body is the damage, basically.
Yeah, it's really weird.
20-minute bounty runes are up and evenly split here, and they've been evenly split all game, it seems. 12-7, pretty even game. A slight lead for Team Secret. We're talking about the downsides for Nisha. Obviously, the flip side of the coin is that mid one is so far ahead of where he probably should be compared to the average Templar assassin sitting at 11,000 net worth. And I mean, he's somebody that he has so much intense physical damage that it can cut through Warfight, right? Well, Puppy's dead.
Yes, and okay, so normally TA, everyone knows about her drop-off point.
Yeah.
And it usually comes against teams that can kite her as the BKB starts to fade. And that usually means like range heroes. And there's 3 range heroes that kite her very well. On the side of like Lina, plus A, plus Willow. And the only one that she can really burst without having like an escape mechanism is really the AA.
Yeah.
But as soon as he gets...
Ice Blast, LSA, they're going to use everything they have to quickly kill this Darkseer. The big team fight hero, it's worth committing that much because I don't think Secret can fight without the Darkseer.
If they could do something like Roche here too, it'd be sick. But maybe they assume there's also a trap in there. Plus, you do have a global presence here. But Madara's just going to use his God Strength, finish up this tier 2. Nice decisive move by Alliance.
Oh, bottom lane, they're just going for it. They're just going to go for the high ground push, see if they can force Alliance back here as they take this tier 2 tower. The tier 2 is falling, but the tier 3 is already down to half health, and now they're going to try and catch anybody who's left here in mid lane from Alliance.
He thought about it. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
He thought about throwing out the realm. You think it would have been worth it? It's 200 gold, baby.
Yeah, that 200 gold, I'll take it.
I mean,
especially since he's almost got that Spirit Vessel, which is all important.
Yeah, but this AA can go for a Ghost Scepter, and it would make him...
Yeah. So then you've got Shadow Realm from Willow, a Ghost Scepter from Ancient Apparition, and then a Self-Fuels. If you pop your BKB, then it's going to be a Self-Fuels from the Lina. Like, any of that just buys you that 2, 3, 4 seconds that makes the TA's game much harder, which is so focused on being able to blink in 1, 2, 1 hero's dead, go next.
Yeah, that's why TA just like naturally falls off, because she's a range. She's masquerading as a range hero in a way, because she's a full commitment melee hero essentially.
Yeah.
Just the way, especially the way that meld works, right? Like you're full commitment melee hero, so mid one after whatever item he decides to go for, which is going to be the Daedalus, has to go for a nullifier next.
We are talking about Deep Future, though. Right now, like when BKB, her timing starts falling off and stuff, this is still a fresh 10-second BKB for mid one. This is going to be a very strong team fight, potentially, for Team Secret, especially if they can get the jump here. Madara, his smoke is going to pop, so is Zai. They're going to try and target him down first. They get first down with the Ice Blast, terrorizing the backline as well. The Ravage goes out, controlling up those heroes. All of that used to be able to kill a Darkseer. They got him, yes. Mid one, meanwhile, popping his BKB, is trying to focus down some heroes. Going for the Tidehunter, is the best target. Now his BKB is out. He used 10 seconds to kill nothing. Didn't kill the Ancient Apparition, couldn't finish off the Tidehunter. Mege dodged him as well, and now that means all of Alliance is here to be able to finish off Nisha. Secret lose 4 and get nothing. 4 of Alliance are low, all of them, around 33% or less, but couldn't actually get a single bounty there.
Again, it's the fact that it's not, you have to commit your heroes in melee range to these heroes that are very good against melee range heroes. And Alliance, and the reason why Sven is such a good hero is that he can commit himself with the stun in that position, and no one can ignore him. Whereas like on the side of Secret, you're just gonna get kited. Your only real initiation is this really slow, easy to move Darkseer or Spear Breaker. Like Puppy's not really a threat anymore, and as far as stuns go, none of their cores really have one. They have slows. All of them have slows for days. But actual like stuns, and stuns are what determine Dota.
We've seen Alliance like heavily commit for these kills on Darkseer. Do you think fights look differently if Secret has their Darkseer not in the front line? If he's able to come in and do some sort of
but
wall
part of the problem is he sort of has to be.
Yeah.
Like,
who else is gonna get like? Who else?
Yeah,
is gonna front
no
line
one really,
for you?
because you can't let Puppy get it. The annoying part is you can't let Puppy get initiated on because he's your stun.
Yeah.
And once you take him out of the equation, the team fight gets a lot harder for you. He also has like he has a way to stop the BKB Sven temporarily, so you need him in the back. So in an ideal world you live in, the Darkseer is able to just like tank up so much that it doesn't matter. But he doesn't, because AA just wrecks him every time in the fight.
We saw the ramp up of net worth, typical for Spectres. Nisha, his net worth is actually stalled out right now.
Yeah, and this is also why it's very important for Boxy when we talked about why Tidehunters need net worth at all times. Like, he needs to continue to scale with the rest of his cores.
Yeah.
And because, you know, at some point your spells top out, and there's not a lot of part of the problem with Tidehunter is there's not a lot of items that make his spells feel any better. You're not going to go like Kaya on Tide. You're not going to go. You're not going to go for like all these other side items.
Catching in from the side, they swoop in, catch Insania.
So you just need like raw net worth and stuff as.
Ooh, that is a lot of damage. Nisha.
You heard Alliance yell right there?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the relocate coming in from the side. They do have the charge onto Taiga right now, and that is a misterrorize, but as long as it's only Taiga and not Mickey, pretty
That's
sure
gonna
Alliance is super happy with the exchange.
That 1-for-1 is good for them,
Smart,
but
though.
yeah, mid one just walking into the Roche pit, and the trap should see the Tidehunter coming in too. He's gonna get
Charged through in Boxy, slightly controlled. They're gonna go for this Sven here. Look how quickly he's actually maybe dying here. Does manage to get out the war cry, but it's immediately taken down by a couple of shots from mid one. Madara though has already used God Strength and BKB. He's gonna throw out the Ravage. Is Alliance really ready to take this team fight? I'm not so sure. Madara's gonna come back in, try and take this fight with Randall controlling of these heroes. Madara came back in and died. Puppy, he may be gone up by Taiga, but that doesn't really matter. If the Ice Blast coming in though, that's gonna matter a lot more. As mid one is at half HP right now, but they have no damage to follow up on that one. Mickey is currently farting around with Zai. He's trying to deal some damage out to this Darkseer, but he has too much sustain. And now the charge, Puppy, okay, he actually canceled that charge, but that's okay. Mickey's dead anyway.
so surprised they decided to take that fight.
Just disengage.
Yeah, that you're in a perfectly fine position. Midrax has died. Everything's cool.
Like, use BKB, God Strength, your Sven is at 25% HP.
Yeah, he has no BKB.
Like, nobody should be making the call to use that Ravage. We're
Just
gonna
give
go
them
back
Roche
in.
Just give them Roche. It's fine. You're still up 6k gold, but by willingly committing yourself there, the thing is you don't know who to blame in that position because
Whoever made the call.
yeah, it made it very clear, I think, that Madara was told, just go ahead, don't worry.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna burst her instantly. And instead he literally got one shot and died, and then
I'm not even convinced that they could have taken Roche. Yes, they used BKB, but you're talking about Ravage, Terrorize, Ice Blast. Like, those are all really good Roche controlling abilities, too.
all you have to do, I think, is calm down, let him blink back,
Yeah.
TP to the shrine, bury yourself some salves, anything. Even just, I don't know, that was a very confusing circumstance because
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I felt like their position in the game was fine as you see the charge through. Realistically, you don't even have to pop BKB there because there's no follow-up stuns on this side.
Yeah.
This side is secret. Once the charge ends, there's literally nothing you have to worry about. And then Madara comes back in, gets charged, and then literally gets one shot and dies.
Yeah. And then their damage becomes so split at this point because it's hard for Mickey to get up into that high ground to focus on mid one, who you could see is Ice Blast and half HP. He has to play the distance game, so instead he just hits what's in front of him, which is Darkseer, but he's too tanky too.
Yeah, and
Well, now you got...
And Madara apparently died while we were watching the replay. I was wondering why he was dead for 40 and...
Okay, well, that's not good, because now they've got a Daedalus double damage on mid one, and he is hoping he can finish off the tier 3, and then Secret can go for some shrines.
Still 10 seconds on the deck for this Sven.
Would you chance it?
No. because Secret is careful. They have experience, and they know, and this is something that I feel like sometimes Alliance, like, they randomly lack is, don't go for that. There's nothing, you know, eventually a better fight will present itself to you.
Dire's middle
It was
tower
their
is
strength
under
in
attack.
game 1 against LGD where they just kept hitting LGD over and over and over again with so much speed and force that LGD could never recover. But in this kind of game, like, you just needed to not take that. You needed to actually say...
You just had to be calm.
Yeah.
That was the time to be relatively calm, and by just kind of all out forcing it,
Dire's middle
just feels like
tower
they
is
were
under attack.
making life hard for themselves.
Yeah. A on disc for Yapzor, and next a Ghost Scepter, so he's come up with a lot of ways to increase his survivability when he jumps in, tries to help out Midwan or Nisha in the middle of these team fights, so he will not be so easily burst down. Nice blast just across the map there. Not sure if that was just scouting for some vision.
Man, Secret, though, are so good at coming back in these positions.
Yeah.
Like, that's, for me, that's a sign of why, no matter what their form looks like, or, like, whether or not they are trying, like, the hardest, they can just perform. And they're going to look good.
What do you think about the Rod of Atos? Because we were talking about, oh, you know, build Ghost Scepter for kiting this Spectre
Radiant's
and
bottom tower is
TA.
under
Instead,
attack.
went for a very offensive item in Rod of Atos, which does
guess
have
that's
synergy with
the-
the Gold Feed. But
Yeah, I guess that's like the Darkseer spec counter, but
Yeah.
he's got Manta, he's got BKB, DS has Greaves.
sit behind Boxy here. The Terrorize coming out. They really do not want to blow this Ravage. They know if Secret managed to force out the Ravage there, 30, 45 seconds later, Secret's going to be hitting their high ground once again.
Yeah, and Alliance with a full set of racks up is 6,000 gold behind. Never a good sign, as mid one is pretty beastly now. Just very impressive.
What do you think about Butterfly as the next item for him?
I mean, Sven's not going to go for MKB, right? He's
Yeah.
demonstrated that he's going to go for the AC next, so he's keeping one item ahead, and I think that's fine.
Fair enough. As Alliance gonna smoke up here, still have that Ravage, still have all their big team fight combo. They just need the right kind of
Radiant's
initiation,
top tower is under attack.
not one where they're ravaging and don't have the immediate follow-up on 3. They want to be able to see the success was when Alliance is like got in the dark and they just throw a bunch of spells at him.
As the Aegis will now fade out, but they did plenty with it. They got map control. That's that Aegis right there as Insania. Stop
Catches
Puppy right
Spirit
here.
Breaker. He's trying to get off his ultimate. That'll also get him away from the cold feed, so he doesn't actually get stunned. And Nisha, they thought they were gonna maybe TP in and kill Puppy. It's the other way around.
I would imagine the reason why they considered that fight was because it was around the shrine and there was a ward there.
Yeah.
But still, it was very odd of Insania to make the call to go for the aggression. Because Secret at this point, all good teams at 30 minutes, they will play together as 5.
Okay, there's gonna be a way to stop the Spirit Breaker, and he does juke out the relocate.
It's not like Puppy doesn't have a dust. You notice that about all these like greedy or 5 position captains? They just don't love dust.
Like, what's the point? I'm gonna spend at
Kuro and
minimum
Puppy?
90 gold for a kill?
Yeah, it's not like this Lina just bought the Shadow Blade. He's had it for like... They do have a gem on Darkseer, but, you know, your Initiator, I feel like, should have some form of detection.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just funny. So now he's given the sentries. Yapzor's like, here, sir.
The rare times where Yapzor is gonna be giving instead of taking. It's 19 to 15, 7,000 net worth lead for Team Secret, but Alliance do have that mid lane of barracks down, while Team Secret have yet to take a tier 3. Secret definitely has full control of the map right now.
When you have this much control of the map, that Rax doesn't matter. Because
Yeah.
you're just pushing in this bottom, or this mid lane all the time anyways.
Radiant are
You're
scared.
just running up and down, extending your net worth lead, doing a very good job of that, as poor Centaur might be going down here in a second. Fact gets replaced.
And the worst part is I think there's significant upgrades on the way. Once you get the heart on the Spectre, then she is no longer fearing as much the Laguna Blade Ice Blast combo that almost completely destroys her in a team fight. She's gonna, even if she does die, she's gonna bounce back so much extra damage with the dispersion. Like, that's a significant upgrade. You're talking about the Nullifier for mid one, which he hasn't actually gone yet. He went for a
On the high ground here, Boxy, he's got to be careful.
He's gonna run up into this, but mid one's already taken off.
Look at
that damage! He's dead, and he doesn't have buyback either. And Boxy can't hold on to that Ravage long enough. He was waiting for the BKB to fare out, but that doesn't happen. This is what happens when you have the map control here. You can have certain things like DD runes that can completely win team fights. They try and go for the fast kill onto Zai, but Zai is not going to be taken out here. Taiga throwing the Terrorize out. It's going to be a bit too late, and everybody is going to make their way back here from Team Secret. Some of them are a little bit too low.
That TA dealt plus 407 with so he was hitting for like 560 a hit. Let me just with the dataless.
Sven just got shredded.
He just got tossed into the dirt.
All right, so I mean, without, okay, now they're going to throw out the Ravage, see if they can pull a mid one, and they are going to be able to do so. Yapster was not able to get the tether in time and start healing him up. And Insania turns around with the Ice Blast there, but if they can walk this off, it would be massive. Nisha actually gets stunned up at Cold Feet. Yule Scepter as well. Just keep on him down with the Gush, just keep on poking him at. They try and pull him in with a vacuum. That's where Puppy's going to try and make some sort of commitment to push the Lina away from Nisha as best as possible. Boxy just stays on top of these heroes, though, knowing that they can't turn on him, especially now that Sven is back alive with Warcry, giving him the extra movement speed to try and hunt down some of these heroes. They're going to spot Puppy, waiting for the kill onto the Ancient Apparition, also creating space for Nisha to try and get away, but he's now been found by Taiga, who managed to get the Curse Crown stun onto him. Yapsor does have a relocate, but Mickey, this is why he's Shadow Blading, not towards Nisha, but towards wherever the Willow might be. They're now going to throw out the Laguna Blade Ice Blast combination. They're almost dead. Need a bit more damage. They got him. Yapsor trying to tether in is just going to find himself surrounded by Alliance members. Neon Disc will buy him a little bit of time here. In fact, they're even focusing on the Sven illusion, which was causing Insania some troubles, but finally, Madara does manage to get the kill. Don't forget the gem, sirs. Saw that one on the ground. That was a buyback from Puppy, too.
Yeah, an overall very nice net worth win, but still, they have such a mountain to climb. Like, that was Secret just sort of saying, okay, the game's over. Like, we can just kind of walk in, but
yeah,
without the BKB, the TA does go down very quickly.
It was a good read by Alliance that they could take that kind of three-man. Puppy's going to be spotted here. The Ice Blast actually seeing mid one come in. It also gives him the heads up. Get the Yule Scepter up on a Puppy. Now they're going to be able to get the... Oh, no! You just came back alive on mid one. That we said for 90 seconds.
There's 5 alive.
Just go for it.
Yeah, they're going to get 2 sets.
A Secret is just playing a little too fast and loose.
Mid one just kind of naturally assumed that they were going to back up, I think, and in fact, they were going to make the aggressive move on a Mickey, and
Puppy's like, let's go for this kill. Let's just shoot from the hip. And Alliance, we're like, okay.
That's a freebie. As
remember what you said? Oh, these teams that are good at 30 minutes, they're going to play together. Well, Alliance, they were together.
Yeah, and it is Secret. Now they're sort of like taking turns to get a little bit reckless and cocky. Alliance, when they had the 5K lead, they decided to YOLO it a bit, take that weird fight, and Alliance are gifted it back as... I mean, at the end of the day, Secret never got anything aside from a tier 3 tower out of this, and they might even get Roshan here, as they don't know it yet, but the TA still doesn't have buyback, 340 gold short.
Go for Insania. Insania's fine with that one. He just wants to be able to buy his team time. He throws out the Ravage there, and that's going to be able to... Oh, Nisha's actually jumping inside the pit. It's only Mickey focusing on Roshan right now, but Nisha trying to grab it. Mickey gets it just in time, and he stays alive. And now it's Madara inside the pit. Nisha's trying to dagger his way through.
He's got cheese in one.
His man's up, but he's been hit by the LSA. Get the cheese up, get the cheese up. No! He's dead. Vacuum back inside the pit to allow the rest of Secret to retreat. But their carry, their big carry who had the cheese, dies before he can get it off and does not have buyback. Much like mid one, didn't have it before him.
He will have it in a short second. It's 70 gold away.
70 gold.
But still, just Alliance opting to fight without their TA.
Yeah, Secret has just been...
That is 21,000 of your net worth that you could have just waited for. And again, I feel like this Aegis, it's not game-breaking.
Is under attack.
Yeah, and Aegis, Lina and Aegis, Sven, like...
She doesn't have BKB. You can get on
Yeah.
top of her. It's more important that you don't just throw away heroes there. And Zai used the buyback for that too. And so now,
Dire's top tower is under
Secret,
attack.
they're in such a do-or-die position.
Well, they will have a chance for one more good high ground 5-man hold.
Dude, this game's wild.
Radiant are
Potentially as
falling. Dire's
Alliance,
top tower has
25
fallen.
seconds. They're not going to try and
Dire's
play
top
it too
tower is
fast and just like rush down, see if they can get Megas real quick. They're going to
Yeah, both
take the
teams.
shrines.
Both teams need to reset themselves a little bit here. As we saw, 30 seconds still for this TA.
The Ravage was like,
Oh,
it was great. Just actually hit
look
all
at
those
this.
heroes on the
Insania didn't even
outside.
die right here.
Yeah.
And as a result, he's able to reset in the fight with the rest of his team.
Also, shout out to Mickey not panicking in that moment and like finishing up Roshan instead of leaving Spectre
Yes.
alone inside the pit, and also being fast enough to grab the Aegis.
By far the coolest part about that, though, was the Ravage from Boxy.
Oh yeah.
The get to the edge of the Roche pit, catch everybody.
Mm-hmm. When I first saw it, I was like, huh? And then I see the outside of the pit where he hits like almost everyone. It's like, oh, okay.
He actually pixel perfect.
26-20. It's now Alliance with the 2,000 gold lead, but more importantly, 2 lanes of barracks are down.
And they're about to get a Silver Edge to deal with this this Spectre.
And if you thought that net worth was a bit of a roller coaster, love to see the win percentage, as I'm sure that was.
What is this? What am I looking at?
That was almost like 80, 85%
It
advantage
looks like
to
it almost
Secret.
looks like a heartbeat, you know? Boop. Boop. Oh man, that is. I love games like this personally. I think they're so fun.
Because Dota's inherently messy.
Yeah, and
You try and treat it clinically as you want, but
I'm gonna tell you guys what happened, but it doesn't make it any less entertaining, and it's just what happens in Dota. You know, you get a little bit over aggressive, you see some moves on the map, and you want to be decisive, so you go for it.
also behind Nisha. It almost seems like they're trying to bait him right now.
But both teams are gonna know about each other's presence with Boxy coming
They're
forward.
still going to go for Nisha as they show mid one in the mid lane. The charge on in is going to be able to slow down Monera. Nisha's actually thinking about turning and fighting right now. He feels comfortable enough with this, and they do manage to get a stun out. There goes the Ravage, but mid one just keeps on focusing on this Sven. While Sven trying to go for Poppy, trying to hide into the trees. Something to make it Tiger set as well. Mid one beating through some of these heroes. Now the side blades out onto Boxy. They're going to leave that one up next. As Alliance has definitely lost this fight. It's just a question of how many heroes they're going to lose.
They got the charge
Insania
off.
does have the charge onto Mickey. That's a much more important kill, but it looks like Insania is very dead. He doesn't have a TP, so they're eventually going to kill him. And
gets the charge hit.
They have to relocate to get on top of Lina, but they may not even need it. It's one shot, two shot. That's going to be enough. And Aegis down. And as you said, he doesn't have BKB, so they can just stick on top of him in the second life, and he'll die so quickly.
Show me that win probability, JJ.
It's going to keep dropping. There's no way it's going to stay right there as buybacks are being used or
The
whatever.
sharp decline back down as their decision to go for the Spectre there. Once the Ice Blast doesn't connect, you're done for.
Yeah.
Because the heart plus the Wisp regen makes that fight impossible. You know he's going to reset. He's going to be full HP. Whenever Madara commits like that to the burst, the one hit with the Echo Saber, and he doesn't get a kill,
Yeah.
the fight is so impossible for him at that point.
Radiant's middle
Puppy
tower
just sticks
is
on
under
top of
attack.
him, makes it so hard for him to breathe. Can't really get around here as they are going to march down this lane.
Radiant's middle tower
All right,
Most
so-
likely take 2 racks for themselves minimum here.
Yeah. And like Alliance, how much are you giving up? Who's like your Sven's not buying back, obviously. Is your Lina gonna buy back? But can you really fight without the Tide and Ancient Apparition anyway? Is there a point in doing
I
that?
would put Secret, if I was Secret, I would just put them in a position where I would potentially try to go for Megas here.
Yeah.
Or at least even up the racks. You got to force the buybacks.
Okay, there's the buybacks from both the Tide as well as the Lina. Looks like Tide just got his buyback in time.
Yeah, so now Secret resets, and the
Radiant's
Aegis
top shrine
was
is under
wasted.
attack.
Now,
Here's the
now
bigger
let's
thing.
check the win probability.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
there's a cheese still on the Spectre.
Radiant's top shrine is fallen.
Yeah.
God, I forgot about that. I
Yeah,
forgot
I
he
know
didn't
you
use that
did.
cheese in that one fight. And now we're pretty much almost back down to the 85% that Team Secret was not so long ago.
This is, oh, man.
I like how he's thinking about Blade Mail. I
This
don't
is-
hate it.
I don't hate it either because what it does is it counters the Sven's low BKB timer now.
Yeah.
It makes it so that when the Sven jumps you with his what is it? It has to be like 5 now, right? With this 5-second BKB timer, you pop this blade mail, and all that time is now just wasted.
Yeah. And on top of that, you've got the 25 extra dispersion talent, so your blade mail is blocking back.
Oh, he's swerving,
though. Physical damage. Oh, Satanic comes.
He's gonna go for something else.
He's gonna get the Nullifier instead of our Templar Assassin, huh? So she's just gonna try and pop ultimate, get on top of Lina, and nullify her.
Yeah. Oh man, this game it's crazy. It's very
It is
enjoyable
indeed.
because you know, for sure, every single time I think that the game is over, something just, let's just say it happens.
The way you make it sound, it's like a natural event, like an earthquake just happened.
Yeah.
Change the game up.
It just occurs. Somebody willed it. Oh, I do like the Stormhammer dispels enemies' talent this game, by the way. A lot of Svens, most carry Svens in games that don't feature Darkseer
Yeah.
will get the 30 move speed.
Mhm.
But in this game, I think against the DS, you pretty much have to.
Yeah, especially since we're closing in on that 25, we can have the AoE surge. And I'm presuming that dispel only apply to a single target? Or you think it applies to everything it hits? And then AoE,
Everything it hits?
it hits?
Everything
Let's say
it
it's that. Let's say it's that.
This on the low between you and
Yeah. They didn't hear that.
nobody else.
So it's going to dispel everything that it hits when they... So if you do an AoE surge, but you're immediately hit by a Stormhammer, that's everybody. There goes all of that movement.
We
speed
have
you
set
just
the
gave
rules
away.
of Dota.
Thanks, Ifstar.
By the way, Zai is very farmed at this point. He's got the Lotus Orb to bounce back. He's got a BKB, 9 seconds, Pipe, Helm of Dom, Gem, Greaves. This man has not fallen far behind.
People are actually running out of slots now. I see the TA. Mid-one's thinking about like going back for a Blink Dagger for a moment. Now he's looking at Scotty.
I really feel like Insania needs a Ghost Scepter.
Yeah.
Or a Glimmer.
Yeah.
I'll take either. You need a way to disengage in these engagements.
Oh, I love Glimmer Cape this late because you know the carries aren't holding dust.
look at Yapsword. He's so farmed. I don't know how this guy does it, but
He almost has a heart. Oh dear.
he does indeed almost have a heart.
And he's got the level 25 talent now.
He could have taken the, he actually went for the 150 GPM instead of the Tether Grants.
Ags, yeah.
Yeah, you could have given it to Nisha and he could have played like Naruto or something.
Yeah, but then he jumps away from your tether. And so it's a one and done situation. You get one teleport, and then you no longer have the axe.
Or, here's the thing, you're next level, and you time the tether, so when he comes back in, you relocate, follow where he's going.
Oh, okay.
That's the ultra next level play.
I like it. He's got attacks targets now.
I just realized that. He has two guys whose ags predicate on getting away from him.
That's true.
You know, like the TA teleport and the spec, plus the spear breaker. Literally all the ags except for the Darkseer gets them farther away from him. So I guess this is one of the few
synergy. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the few times where you entirely skip that. Oh, that's so funny. As the next Roshan, it will be an Ags, and for Alliance, the AA Ags Ice Blast. Or even the Lina one.
The Lina one is good.
Let me say Boxy's is probably the worst. If I'm just honest here, Boxy, sorry. I don't know how much I love your...
AoE Gush.
I hate that talent. Or I hate that Ags. It's like you're throwing out Wave of Terror. You know, it's just not that cool.
You have the Ags Dark Willow that everyone was complaining about.
What if it also did like a 0.25 second stun? Would that be broken?
AoE Gush?
Yeah.
What?
What if it's like
that would be mega broke. What is wrong with you?
What about like 0.1?
Let's just give him 2 Ravages. I'm sure it's not a big deal.
0.1 second stun. Whenever he throws it out.
They just kind of like stagger for a moment.
I mean, Queen of Pain gets like a friggin' level
pushback?
25 talent.
Okay, what if it did a pushback instead of a stun?
Okay, but it's a pushback where you can't. You know, it's like, okay, you see his taunt right there? It's like you wiggle your arms in the air. Ooh.
You do a backstroke.
You can't do anything.
Everyone does a backstroke.
Yeah,
Everyone uses their taunt ability.
Boxy, he's gonna swim in there.
Modera's going to jump for it. The Force Staff holding on to the Terrorize. That Spectre ultimate, trying to decide where he's going to go. Nisha actually holding on to it for so long, but Modera's getting jumped right now. He turns around with a Satanic, though. Now he's got the opportunity. All that physical damage doesn't do a bunch, but look at that backing wall. They're stuck inside the wall. They're so slowed down. They can spot the real Spectre, though. They see the real one. Can they actually burst it down with the Ravage going down the Lotus? So it's not going to be enough. They kill him, but he does buy back. Doesn't have the ultimate, though. Modera in the back lines. Get away from the Captain of Buffy. They're going to be okay. Modera's trying to get off. He's going to be good. Secret of bought back on one. They're going to buy back on more here. Spectre's bought back. So is the Spirit Breaker. Alliance just need to get away from this. They need to be able to get back to their pound to heal up. Part of the reason the Secret's buying back, though, Roshan is up. Alliance is low enough that they're not going to be here in the
they
pit.
take this so quickly, too. And Alliance, I mean, an overall teamfight win is they did force the buyback on 2 separate cores, but the Aegis is going to reset this game for them anyways. Who gets it? Give it to the Wiz. Let him just like chuck him around. Oh, they're gonna give it to Puppy, in fact.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's AoE control. You get the vacuum in like they were just walled. You get the
that'd be
AoE
dirty.
Nether Strike.
Oh, that'd be sick.
God, that was such a garbage axe, but it's finally good in this one situation.
Because the thing about it is, like, the other Ags are just kind of mean. I think the IO one's pretty cool.
Where he like just pops out spirits every once in a while. That's his thing.
Yeah, he just, you know,
I don't think that's really doing all.
it's annoying.
Isn't the Axe Darkseer? Is that still the increase the power of the wall? The increase the amount of damage? Yeah, 140% Scepter replica damage.
I think you should.
It's either the wall and the Nether Strike, and I'm actually okay with the Nether Strike given the
me
vacuum
too.
I just saw.
Me too. But Alliance, the reason why they're able to turn that fight is because Secret, they jumped the gun a little bit. They thought that the Sven was dead, so they refocused and kind of got split up a little bit as a result. And so Puppy started going for the back line, and then Madara pops his Satanic, is able to live, he fights back, and all of a sudden Secret also have low BKBs, and Nisha's all by himself in No Man's Land. He's like way up the hill. The rest of his team, like the way that they fought was just such an awkward angle. Like half of his team was on the low ground. Puppy was like already way past, you know, he was looking past the future.
Do you think they have 2 cheeses now? Because they still have not used that first cheese.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with that cheese is if you get ice blasted, it doesn't really matter.
So I guess that's my question to you. Do you think Alliance should be the ones looking for a fight right now, given that most of their buybacks are up, whereas Secret have 3 of them that are on cooldown? But Team Secret also has this Aegis for another 2.5 minutes, and they have 2 cheeses. Like, which one is better, the buybacks or the Second Life?
I think that the Second Life is right now the best because it's like a scary position for Alliance to be in.
Yeah.
Where if you get wiped, it doesn't really matter, right? But I'd say this game is, despite the 14k lead, I'd say it's as even as it gets.
Oh my goodness, look at that fast charge. He doesn't even get off the Shadow Realm in time. He needs to pop it now and try and TP out or something.
Oh, he just gets burned.
But he just gets burned down.
Does have the buyback, and that was the commitment of the Haunt. So that's 100 seconds on the board for him. And Insania, he doesn't have buyback, and his Ice Blast is so big.
They need that Ice Blast so badly. Insania's trying to get up. He's charged up. He's gonna die here. That is going to be a buyback from Dark Will in a 4 versus 5.
I cannot believe he was out there. His Ice Blast is so key to being able to kill Nisha, who is taking a lot of damage here, but he's gonna reset with the Heart. The Wisp can heal him up too if he chooses. And this is, I think, quite a good opportunity for Alliance. There's no buyback, or for Secret, as there's no buyback on the AA.
Yep.
And the Ice Blast, it's so crucial.
Yeah.
Like, that's the entire reason they were able to kill Nisha so quickly there. And a pretty big opportunity here now for Secret. They didn't have a TP, and a Rapier is purchased. They're going to go in a box.
Be careful! 150 HP before the Guardian Greaves goes off.
You need a reset. Everybody go heal up. As Secret, they're going to continue to go for this. This is a Rapier TA.
I mean, this is all in on the TA, right?
Yes.
Like, you gotta find this TA with Divine and no Aegis. He does have buyback. Nisha, they're poking at him right now, seeing if they can take away that first life somehow for free. Without actually losing any heroes for it. Nisha's dropping a bit low, but every single time they're just gonna reset.
Just get the heart regen kicking in again.
There's that AoE surge.
I will say that I would have thought that Alliance had the advantage if AA doesn't die there.
Yeah.
Then you can just send in your frontliners and trade out.
Okay, and they broke the Spectre. That is a lot of damage immediately. After the Manta was popped, they managed to get the Curse Crown, but there is the Lotus Orb to counter the Curse.
20 seconds now for this AA, and so far so good as they have held for the time being. And, I mean, shortly it's going to be Secret that have to start playing carefully. Their side lanes are pushing in. You don't have buyback on this Spectre or this Darkseer.
Radiant are scanning.
They weren't... The funny thing about Rapier is it makes it so you don't want to commit there. And I feel like if you're Secret, you probably want to commit with 80 seconds on the AA.
Yeah.
But because you have Rapier, you're so afraid to take any bad fights. Because you give... I feel like you give this Lina a Rapier.
She's going to take over.
Yeah. This game...
Mickey is trying to turn into a right-click
How long do we have on the Aegis?
hero anyways, trying to build an MKB. That Aegis should be another, like...
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
What's the win probability, JJ? Can you bring that up for us?
So,
Okay.
Dota Plus does think that Team Secret still have a wealthy advantage.
Just the mountains, the two... Usually you see one of those, but...
Yeah.
The two mountains. As the net worth lead, of course, matters less, and it's more about the buybacks at this point.
Late halberd, but it's a really powerful halberd. That is a really good choice for our Tidehunter, who I presume has gone the damage, so he actually does quite a lot with his anchor smashes now.
Yeah, and they might go for a smoke here on... I almost said Vega because of Madara's name, but on Alliance here, as they are...
Boxy's also thinking about committing for a Blink Dagger. I really want him to, because I think you just can't try and go through the Spectre into the TA. You need to get it directly on top of him and surprise him.
If you blow up the TA, because the Wisp is also going to naturally be next to her, if you can find that position where you get on top of both of them and you just start chunking, then, you know, the fight becomes a lot easier for your team. Your Lina can just kind of play that back line.
With Siapsar with the Maelstrom, taking advantage of his level 25 talent.
Attack speed thing.
So finally, he's going to be doing some damage.
Gonna shoot so much lightning, they'll think there's a Zeus in the game.
Especially with the Mjolnir as well. You put that on the tanky Spectre.
29 to 28. Don't let the gold bleed fool you, as we saw they can kill the Spectre. He is about to have buyback up, and so Alliance's window.
You have some big 25s on Alliance that still aren't there. I think both of their supports ones are really big, right? An extra 5% for the Ice Blast kill threshold.
I mean, even the 700 AoE cold feed is quite good.
Oh,
I guess
yeah,
it sort of gets countered though by the Darkseer Surge.
Yeah.
The AoE, AoE versus AoE.
Meanwhile, you have Terrorize duration. An extra 1.5 second for an AoE disable.
Oh, that's huge, especially considering how low all the BKBs have become.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say that normally I really like that cold feet talent as
charge into. All right, he cancels it.
Does have a 10-second BKB on himself too, and so it makes his Ags ulti even better. Secret continue to own the map.
I feel like what's so scary about the AoE surge is that it's super easy to get out of position. You know, you get a little bit lazy in your positioning, all of a sudden this 5-man team is swarming you all with like 600 movement speed.
By the way, mid one has another rape. Yeah.
I mean, one for.
Honestly, I love this. I love this guy. The fact that he's just willing to just be like, you know what, guys, I'm playing for the win here. I don't know,
they're
you guys
smoking into each other here, but they still have that extra bit of movement speed. The smoke is going to pop for nothing.
Puppy thought about it for a second. He was in position, and Zai going to give him the surge.
Radiant are
Re-ion shells him, and they were thinking about it.
You know what's funny? If they actually smoked up into the enemy jungle, Nisha was very isolated.
But he does have buyback now. And I think the Darkseer doesn't, based on his gold. And he's still far away. 900 gold away is Boxy. They get hit by the trap. Nisha is going in here right now.
Starts poking at him. There's the cold feet nullifier. Onto the Sven. They want to make sure he can't use his satanic to be able to turn around like he did last time. Another strike. He's trying to hold him up, but he gets off the BKB. He needs to swing though, and he couldn't get it. A big crate comes out from mid one. That finishes off him, and now the fight for Alliance is over. They're just trying to get as many heroes as possible. And Sadie gets his TP off, but Boxy's certainly dead. They're going to be forced into 3 different buybacks here, and they will not have BKB or God Strength on the Sven, which are all important.
Yeah, now Secret, they're just ignoring the Roche. They force all 3 buybacks, and they can just go back and take it. They take it so quickly. This is going to be both the Ags and the Cheese. Now you can give it to your Darkseer if you so choose.
You want the Refresher Shard for Nisha for his buyback line. He can ult, die.
Yeah. That sounds really good.
Oh, they give him the Aghanim Scepter, actually.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna jump around. This will allow him to be able to just jump onto Lina without actually committing his full haunt if he wants to.
See ya, kid.
And I guess when you have these abilities, you really don't need your boots anymore.
Oh man,
Just passed over the hour marker here, 29 to 31, a 42,000 net worth lead for Secret. I did not realize it was that high.
Monaro was just nowhere near the rest of his team.
Yeah.
There's no backup for him. The crazy part is, if he gets a swing there with the Satanic pop, he turns that around for his team. They were all in on trying to kill him.
If he pops BKB before he gets nullified, a lot of things should change. They all in for the Blink Dagger on the Tidehunter since he's already used his buyback.
Yeah, and of course, for Alliance, this is a all-important game. They desperately need this win to just stay alive in the tournament.
Refresher Shard for the Darkseer, so we're going to be seeing double vacuum, double wall, but he also has Scythe, Vice, which is pretty important.
This is the weirdest 50k lead I think I've seen in Dota. That makes sense? As he actually just straight up buys the double. I thought, you know what I thought he was going to do, right?
Yeah, it was the
He was going to save one and then buy back and then bring the second. Nah, this man is... This is the most boss thing I've ever seen in professional Dota. The game isn't even secured yet, and you buy the double rapier. That is
Who do you
honestly,
think he can one-shot if he gets a crit?
That is so cool.
Who do you think he can one-shot?
Maybe yeah.
For me, it's no question. He dies.
Probably Tyget?
Dark Willow
sure
dies.
Probably Tyget.
But he doesn't even necessarily need to one-shot them because he's also got the Meld Hit Bash.
And they're just going to go for it right now. Is they have the Aegis on Anisha. He's going to pop the Manta.
And you get the Gosh on him.
Looking at
just
this
going to
go.
on through with the BKB. There's that single target pawn jumping onto this Sven as best as possible with the nullifier, and he's going to jump back. Focusing on the racks, but Nisha's quite low. Nobody from Alliance is actually dying. In fact, they're going to heal up Puppy. Heal looks like they gave him a cheese, and he's going to gobble that one down. Get near to full again.
And the refresher was actually popped?
Yes. I think I saw that as well.
I think I saw Zai use
Darkseers, yeah.
They have so many cheeses and refreshers and stuff that... But I do believe that was used by him. And so Alliance, they don't actually get raxed. Weird kind of situation. I mean, the Shadow Step is pretty funny, though. They just kind of went in.
I think that's also the most cheeses I've seen.
Yeah.
That was 3 cheeses held by one team. Now we're down to 2. And it's funny, like Alliance, in order to get through this part of the game, they have to make 0 mistakes for like 3 different fights in a row. We have another situation where Sven fails to pop his, fails to get the swing off on the Satanic and get his BKB off, or, Boxy messes up a Ravage somehow, the game's just over. And so is your tournament life. 5-man smoke up from Team Secret as they're going to show the illusions of Nisha at bottom lane and see if they can wrap all the way around, and especially with this AoE surge.
I need to see the double rapier hit.
I mean, they can go just for the fast barracks, or they can see if somebody is going to poke their head out as a creep wave pushes in. Nisha, he starts running forward, pops his smoke. Now he's just going to try and hit that building. Alliance running over to get in position here. Manta trying to get the dodge off the Stormbolt. Still lands. There's the LSA follow-up as well. There's going to be Puppy with a charge in again. But Alliance always playing careful into that back line. They're going to be forced to use their glyph. That's another objective used. Another thing that Secret now doesn't have to worry about so much.
Aegis has to be fading now, right?
It is 45 seconds, so... And I can see why they're scared, because they can't just let Nisha suicide onto the barracks. Like where he's going to be, the setup that's happening, especially with the break mechanic from Delina. He might just get bursted down a second life. Thought about Bloodthorn. Now thinking about Refresher for the Templar Assassin for a double BKB. Really isn't much left. I mean, double Hurricane Pike. Never seen that, but sure.
Just keep hiking yourself further and further. Just hit him from the mid lane.
I mean, the Aegis is gone. If Team Secret were timid about going high ground before and finishing off these buildings.
Nah, the Treads is going to switch things up.
Well, it is the Treads. I thought he was going to have the cheese in his inventory just in case. Another dagger. There's a approach on the high ground. This time they're going to jump the Spectre with the Ice Blast going over the top of the back line. Puppey committing for Mickey, but again, Alliance are far enough back that Secret doesn't really want to commit to this. They're just going to go for the buildings instead and try and get out with that AoE surge. Needs to actually jump back in onto Insania. He's trying to get into the trees right now. The Terrorize is going to force him back out of those trees, though, and they do manage to kill the Spectre. And it's not in a fight where they can just buy back and she pops ultimate and goes in again. Secret are already disengaged.
Yeah, the double rapier makes it so awkward.
It really does.
You just don't want to do that. I feel like in a normal situation, you just continue the fight, but mid one's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good.
And now he's like frantically switching up whatever his next item is. He has no idea what's going to be. Look at the bounty rune net worth difference.
Yeah.
10,000 of the 48,000 net worth.
Closest 50K game I've seen because of this. This is why I don't even hate it. I'm not criticizing this at all. I think this is one of the, you know, Dota is about entertainment. And I am thoroughly entertained because you have had to completely change how you behave in this game because of the double rapier. And it's glorious. It is absolutely glorious, Cap.
And they just keep on. The crazy thing is they keep on getting bounty runes, so they keep on getting more items. They keep on getting opportunities for power runes, like the double damage they just grabbed at bottom.
Yeah.
And it's still, they also get the opportunity for Aegis, Cheese, Aghanim Scepter upgrades, Refresher Shards. All of these things are still not enough for Team Secret to confidently say, we can win the fight on the high ground.
The cool thing, too, about Alliance's draft, and I guess Secret's, like both their drafts handle Megas pretty fine.
Yeah.
Mega creeps do not really change that much. You have a bunch of cleave, a bunch of wave clear on both sides. Everyone's tanky enough to deal with it too. Look at YapzOr, he's just...
I'm down.
He's gonna get a...
I'm totally down.
Oh my lord, what is this
Get
game?
a Divine Rapier, absolutely.
Why
You're
not?
attacking as often as this Templar Assassin, go for it. Why wouldn't you at this point? All right, so he's going to go Silver Edge.
Okay, no, he still has...
To try and break the Tide Hunter, so Tide can no longer play the front line.
Yeah. Which, by the way, he had queued up a while back. I will let it be known. Before he decided to finish the Hurricane Pike, I recall, if I recall. Either he was getting it before the Hurricane Pike or before the Butterfly. One of the two major items that he purchased. It does go to show you he really wants that Pike. He could be...
Why is it?
Not sure. I would imagine the distance between him and the Sven matters quite a bit now, so that he can't get the Satanic hits off.
Okay, yeah.
Being able to reset himself after that too, I think is quite important for him. Just
I mean, the advantage for Team Secret especially is, like, they lost Spectre in the last team. And we put it out there, just a single target haunt. Hey, what's up? We put it out there as like, oh, this big thing, and it was big because it means Alliance won the fight, but ultimately their game didn't change. They couldn't go outside their base and force the buyback out of the Spectre. Maybe they went out there and farmed a little bit more than they were doing before, but if they want to actually change the fate of this game, they're gonna have to take a fight outside their base somehow. Madara. He's going to push out while the rest of his team is smoked right now.
Oh man, YapzOr hits real quick.
They have a ward right on top of Puppey. Oh, look how fast that BKB was.
It is committed though, and I think that's going to make Secret reset for the time being.
Yeah.
Because you need Puppey to be able to just run.
But it's not like Alliance are like, They can't be like, all right, 60 seconds, let's go, boys, let's go take a fight. Like, nope, they head right back to their base because they've got creep wave pushing in.
And now all 10. Everybody's got buyback now.
Yeah.
We have come to full circle where everyone has buyback. We're still waiting on the level 25 talents of both this AA.
What's the max Ags? It's 17%. If he gets Aghanim Scepter on Ancient Apparition and the level 25 talent, 17%. 17% of your HP and you're dead.
It's pretty big here as the Aegis. This is going to be a thing as Boxy. I mean, he's just hitting Ancients here. This is
why Alliance smoked up. They wanted to be able to get into some sort of fight
now
where they
you
could fight
give
over
Zodiacs,
Roshan, but...
Right? I mean, I can't imagine a world in which you give it to a TA.
Yes, yeah. Start giving it to the top. It's got it.
Okay, dope.
It's
Can
now
you imagine if they gave it to mid one and he just started teleporting with his mouth? That is not a good act to me.
No.
Let me just soft roll that one out for you guys.
I like the change that Ice Frog did with this Aghanim Scepter of Roshan because it means you can have garbage Aghanims, you know? Because it's like, I mean, why not? Like, you're actually going to see those Ags sometimes in games like these where you're like, well, somebody's got to take it.
Yeah, I mean, if this game goes another 10 minutes, you'll see it, guys. As we are at the 70-minute mark now, both teams, I mean, Alliance haven't seen outside their base for like 20 minutes, and for good reason, because every time they go, the win probability just chucks down a few. So they've been...
Oh, that's the next step there for you, JJ. Oh, he does go for the 700 AoE cold feet, so he values the control over the
It is really
burst
annoying in
damage.
team fights.
Yeah.
Just constantly throwing it out. As Nisha, I mean, he's just kind of going for it now. He's going to peek
work
in,
my
just
way
want to get
around the brambles.
finding his way through the maze.
He gets broken for a second there. Okay, no big deal. There's going to be Lone Star fast charge in from Puppy again. Always going for mid-gate. They do go for Niche and try and jump on Alina as well, but he jumps away. Out this hawk back over to the building here. The Zone is going to go out. Looks like Puppy's going to be dying here. Can they get Nisha though? He runs into another bramble, trying to get his way through. Forced out through another one and does die. That is going to be his first life. They still have the God Strength up for Madara. So Alliance could feel okay at taking a fight right now, but Puppy's charging back in. They've got the top lane of Rax as well as bottom lane pushing in. They cannot afford to lose these buildings.
Secret, they're still waiting outside. They know there's no ulti on the Sven. It's Nisha just going to press forward. There is the Ravage available for them, and the AA Ice Blast in 5 seconds. And those are probably a little bit more important at this point, as Madara is going to go deal with the top wave. Secret still sort of poking in and out, seeing what can be done, but it's like the game is going to reset for them a little bit here with Puppy having to use that buyback. Thought there was an opportunity for him to just straight up end the game. (31-31). It's one of the rare times where we're going to tell you to ignore the net worth lead and pay more attention to the scores is indicative of kind of where this game is. It's definitely not an even game, but it is not a long shot to say that Alliance could somehow make this comeback given what kind of crazy game this has been. I repeat myself, and I'll say for the 4th time, this is the craziest, or this is the closest 50K net worth lead I've personally seen. I'm sure there have been other ones, but
no, I'm gonna say this has got to be one of this. Has got to.
Didn't Cole throw like a 40K lead once or something?
Yeah, but that's tough.
That's 40K. This is 50. I don't even know how 50 really happened. Is the you know what I mean? It just sort of, it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and then it was.
Well, while Team Secret have been able to pick up somewhat useless Aghanim Scepters for free, Alliance has had to do it the harder way, and finally we do have an Aghanim Scepter for them. It's going to be on the Ancient Apparition. This next fight will be the first one that he has, the extra kill threshold.
That was his buyback, though. So they're going for the locked and loaded one-shot.
Dire are scanning.
I mean, his job's really easy because realistically, the only person you care about getting it on is that spec. This is actually one of the weirder AA games too, because you're so important. If you get it on the spec, great. If you don't, you lost the fight.
Not too worried about it. I'm just wondering why he threw his ice blast outside. Just kind of looking around the area as much as possible.
Just buy your rapier, Yapzor. You'll get the gold for buyback.
So Nisha doesn't have a moonshot. He's got 10,000. He's got 10,000 gold in the bank. Mid1, who's been shopping for like his 8th and 9th items, also does not have.
Did they just forget? Like, he just bought a blink dagger. Like, he's actually just buying side item.
The backup blink dagger. I was like, maybe Nisha's going to be giving out moon shards, but he doesn't even have one for himself.
The game has become so confusing to everybody that maybe they just genuinely. Oh well, he's going to buy Abyssal.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And we're going to swap
And
it in for...
he has a 10-second BKB, so he'll pop the 10-second BKB, or maybe he'll just drop the Radiance altogether. No one really seems to mind the Radiance too much. There's no blink daggers aside from Madara's.
If he goes up into the high ground, pops his BKB, and swings at the building, can Alliance stop him? Can they threaten him enough not to finish up that one building?
So, by the way, there's 3 blink daggers. I should correct myself, but the one that's the most important is the Tide Hunters for him to cancel.
Yeah.
But when you pop your ulti, it'll hit everybody anyways. So, I mean, they've got 2 buildings. They've got both melee racks.
I mean, given the huge chain stun that they actually have an Aghanim Scepter now for the Dark Willow, so we're gonna have that Shadow Realm constant hitting. But if he does get the Blink Ravage and you get the Terrorize, that's a huge AoE chain stun that could be happening if you're not fast enough in your BKBs.
I bet this A wishes he sort of had the... I mean, he probably wouldn't have had the Axe otherwise, though. But the 10% Spell Amp talent.
Yeah.
And then the +6 Ice Vortex resistance. Then you're really cooking.
See, true leaders are thinking about the 76th minute of the game and are planning their talents accordingly. Come on, Insania.
Come on. All right. Now you have to give, just by default, either this TA or this IO the next, who does have a rapier himself now. Yapzor has completed his.
All right, there's another double damage rune.
There's a DD.
The thing is, they keep giving it to the TA, but the TA is never the one hitting the buildings because he's got the Divine Rapier.
Oh, he does 1,000 to hit. He does 1,000 to hit right now, and they're still...
Like, if we saw for once mid-1 go and hit the building, it would drop so quickly, but...
Yeah. I saw Yapzor tether a creep when he was right next to mid-1, and I got irrationally angry at him for a second. Yapzor, I want you to fight.
That was like me getting irrationally angry at Insania for throwing his Ice Blast outside of the base for a minute. I'm like, what are you doing?
Keep this game going.
All right, well, apparently Alliance is keeping themselves entertained. They're going to play the drums. Jeez.
The bongos have been laid out.
Now the next test, you throw the monkey on the high ground when they go for the push.
Guys, don't do this. This, you need these. That was a nice melody. Dun, 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 dun.
I like how Alliance just throws out all the chat wheel lines, kind of all in the same sort of area. You could tell, you know, it's like the downsides of war, you know, is like one of the things is like boredom. There's all this downtime. You got to keep yourself ready to go at any point, but it's just naturally you're going to get bored. And the Alliance are like, they're just trying to keep themselves entertained. They're trying to make sure that their guard is up for that big push that could be ending the game for them. But there has been pretty much 20 minutes of nothing.
So the problem
interspersed by like 30 seconds of action.
The problem with it is that everyone's 6-slotted, and if it's not enough for you to like end the game, it means that the game is just now neutral. The gold lead is it's irrelevant at this point. Dota still thinks it's a 75-25 game, despite the largest gold lead I've ever seen.
It's actually going back up.
Yeah,
the more Aghanim Scepters that are given to Team Secret.
Even Dota Plus is like, yo, you really gave it. Wait, you
have an Aghanim Scepter upgrade on
That's
Wisp?
That's going to be 2%.
That's going to be another 2%.
The TA gets one, it's a 50-50 game.
It's a 64,000 net worth lead now.
That's so funny. If the TA gets one and it swings to like a 50-50, it's like... We don't want you to get that.
We shouldn't have done this. Hey, Moon Shards, there we go.
Oh, okay, they started to... let's get it.
You know, if you think about it in this way, it's a great position for Team Secret to be in for this series.
Yes.
Right? Because you're wearing down Alliance with this really long, grueling game. As long as you win it. As long as you close it out.
You know what? I think at one point, Secret, because are they in the upper bracket no matter what? I actually think this game still matters for them is the wild part.
I think so too.
Oh my lord.
Smoke up from Team Secret.
Oh my heart. 79 minutes. We've hit the point. You have an Aegis,
Scanning.
right?
You guys really aren't going to wait. You're not going to wait for the moon shard on Nisha. You've waited for so much. Zai just kind of running in, looking for the vacuum, and heads back out.
It's been 80 seconds, or it's been 80 minutes now. We are approaching.
And we're in the top 10.
Yapzor has a Aegis. He's got a rapier. He, I mean, guess the hero. It's, you know, he's very strong. Oh, the Haunts popped.
Haunts popped. They're going to go for it. Leave the Lena. Trying to get up. They do have a force down. They pull back in with the vacuum as best as possible. To nullify, they might just be able to get this hero. There goes the Terrorize. Moderate dead as well. The Baltimore don't have to buy back. The Terrorize is down, but Dark Will is dead. She may have to buy back. There could be 3 coming out from Alliance, even if no buildings dropped. Team Secret have forced another win condition that they can wait on, I guess.
Yes, okay, Yapzor plus the TA destroyed Madara. He popped his Satanic and he died. That's
It was that much damage?
It was...
Like, did he get some swing? I was focused on Lena dying. Did he get any swings off?
I think he got like 1.
And it just, his big life steal
His
didn't
wrist
matter.
does 563 damage a hit on just like a frenetic attack speed pace. Just get a Moonshard on TA, please.
Oh, his mid ones gave up on the Deso, right? He traded that in a long time, so now Yapzor's got the Deso for him. Oh, they're actually gonna go outside the base. Ooh, there goes the
Radiant's
Spectre.
top barracks are under
Okay.
But they gotta go top. They gotta go top. They gotta save their buildings. The building's dead. Can he actually catch any heroes here? The Terrorize, forcing the TA to split from Yapzor potentially. Tether back in to relocate him back over to bottom. There is another step. You force 3 buybacks. Now you are just 1 building away from Megas.
I can't imagine mega creeps mattering at this point.
That's true.
It's been so long. The creeps are all mega creeps at this point.
Isn't there a point in the game where like the regular creeps start becoming stronger than the mega creeps?
Didn't they phase that out?
Maybe
I feel
they
like
did.
They changed that, yeah. Dota wouldn't have something like that in it.
Boxy just drew a line down mid.
There's
Like,
a good
what
try
do
now.
they gonna try and force the buyback out of the Spectre?
I can't imagine they do.
I just can't
I
see
think
how.
you would lose the game.
Yeah.
In open field, I think you lose the game as Alliance.
Backdoor protection doesn't even matter at this point. I think you could legitimately, if they try and go outside of the base, you can relocate onto that last building
With
and
the TA?
and Wiz could kill it.
They would take it fast. There's still 3 minutes left on the glyph. I don't know if Secret does that, though. I think you just wait for your Spectre and just do the exact same play.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're going to win this game. The game has been...
It's kind of been solved.
Yeah.
You just need to not make any mistakes. Even small mistakes are fine. No egregious errors. You can die in puppy and buy back as many times as you want.
I mean, everyone's going mad in this game. Like, the Alliance have just... You know, they... for like 2 minutes straight, they just like... they made their own orchestra.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they just like an explosion of violence. So we are at 78K, and
by the way, Tide is trying to get a Scythe. He's
Yeah.
going to trade in his Vlad's. The reason I know that is because the Vlad's was picked up by Insania already.
okay. So now he has a Hex.
So now they're ready to swap up some more
What
items.
what are we waiting on here? We're all 25 now. Yes.
Yeah.
Insania's got his buyback. Nope. 680 gold. Realistically, it doesn't
Hey,
matter.
but the attack speed? But what about the Ravage Terrorize comp?
I guess he thinks that he's gonna boom, boom, boom. Realm.
Trying to hit through that refraction fast? Maybe he's thinking real late game. Like eventually I'm going to turn into a right clicker
Everyone is.
and minute
You're-
115.
Austin, they're not thinking about the late game. It's
The late game was 30 minutes ago.
this shit's about as long as like Battlefield Earth the movie at this point. Like we've if you committed to watching this game, like this is a full feature-length film at this point.
There goes Spectre ultimate. But Mickey's not out of position. They're going to try and get the vacuum in. They do have the signs. They're going for Monero right now. The BKB, the God Strength. They do have the Terrorize out with the Terrorize. But oh, Jesus, that time's dead. So is Ben. Mickey's going to go down here. The Ravage goes down, actually saving Mickey. But they don't have a whole lot of damage, do they? Unless Selena can do enough. Darkseer gets a little bit low, but his Nisha starts charging forward. Mickey has to go back to the fountain here. That regen, he definitely needs it, as they are going to be able to bring down another one. Darkseer as well as the Spear Breaker have bought back. That is going to be Megas, but the big tanks, Nisha, meanwhile, big damage shields are still alive. They got the mount back now. Nisha gets on top of him with the nullifier as well. No, he gets a force tap back into the fountain. Are they going to dive that fountain? No, they're going to focus on the buildings. Go for their tier 4s as best as possible. They should know. And in 3 versus 5, there's no way Alliance can take them. They just shred the building so damn quickly. Boxy goes for the backline, tries with the sight, but again, they just keep on running into damage shield. The only one that's left inside of Mickey, and they get him this time with the nullifier. No buyback for him either. That is going to be Boxy dead inside of the fountain. Insania will be run down finally. Alliance will give up this game 1 as we hit the 5-minute mark exactly.
I think at 1 in gold, we just hit the 85-minute mark. They look exhausted, by the way. If you saw Zai's expression right there, he just looks tired. Like, none of them even seem particularly happy. They just look tired.
Well, Alliance, you tried your best to hold on. You needed both of these wins. Unfortunately, this first game